All right, so looks like we're diving into immigration law today,
Yeah.
and you sent over this article about how immigration attorneys are using outsourcing
Mm,
to kind of make their lives a little easier,
right.
which, in such a complex and demanding field, I bet that's a welcome idea.
Absolutely.
It can feel like you're constantly just juggling a million
Oh,
things.
yeah, for sure.
So let's break down some of these strategies and see what we can learn.
Sounds good.
What do you think?
Yeah, I think you really hit the nail on the head when you talk about that feeling of being overwhelmed.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I think that resonates with anyone in a high-stakes profession like that.
Yeah, definitely.
But what I think is interesting about this article is it goes beyond just, acknowledging the problem.
Yeah.
And it offers some concrete solutions, and the solutions that it's offering all revolve around strategic outsourcing.
Now, when I hear outsourcing, I kind of think, big companies sending work overseas.
Right.
But I have a feeling it's a bit different in this context.
Oh, absolutely.
How so?
So strategic outsourcing in this context is about being really thoughtful about what tasks you delegate
Okay,
and to whom you delegate them to.
gotcha.
It's about recognizing that you don't have to be a master of everything
Mm,
and that sometimes bringing in specialized expertise can free you up to focus on your core strengths as an immigration attorney.
okay. I'm starting to see the appeal here.
Yeah,
The article uses PRM applications as an example,
right.
which I'll admit I'm not familiar with.
So PRM applications are for those who aren't immersed in immigration law.
Yeah,
Basically, a labor certification process
yeah.
that employers have to go through to hire foreign workers permanently.
Okay.
And it involves a ton of documentation, paperwork, and very specific requirements, which could be incredibly time-consuming for the attorney handling the case.
Yeah, so I'm imagining these applications could easily eat up, hours, maybe even days of an attorney's time.
Absolutely, and that's exactly the point the article makes.
Okay.
And this is where outsourcing comes in. The author suggests that tasks like case management and document preparation for PRM applications can be effectively handled by somebody else, by someone who specializes in those specific processes.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I can see how delegating those tasks would free up the attorney's time
Absolutely.
and mental energy, to focus on other things.
Exactly. It allows them to focus on that higher level legal strategy,
Okay.
the nuances of the case, which is where their expertise is truly invaluable.
Mm.
The article even suggests that this extra time could be used to focus on other complex cases,
Okay.
like the EB2 NIW application.
Okay. Another acronym.
Right.
Do I even need to know what that one stands for?
Probably not for this conversation,
Okay.
but just so you know, it's a type of visa for individuals with exceptional ability or advanced degrees who want to work permanently in the U.S.
Gotcha.
The key takeaway here is that strategic outsourcing allows the attorney to dedicate more time to those complex cases
Yeah.
that really require their specialized legal knowledge.
So it's not just about, getting things off your plate. It's about using your time more effectively
Right.
and really focusing on what you're truly best at.
Exactly. It's about working smarter, not harder.
I like that.
And I think that principle applies across so many professions, not just immigration law.
I think so too. I'm starting to see how this could be really useful for, anyone feeling overwhelmed by their workload.
Yeah.
So PRM applications are one example the article uses.
Mhm.
What are some other areas of immigration law where this approach could be helpful?
Well, the article dives into another really challenging area,
Okay.
asylum and deportation defense work.
Okay.
These cases are known for being both logistically and emotionally demanding,
Oh, yeah.
with, really high stakes for the clients involved.
I can only imagine the pressure in those cases.
Yeah.
How does the article suggest using outsourcing in that context?
So it highlights the role of virtual paralegals,
Okay.
who can play a crucial role in these types of cases.
Okay, so what exactly would a virtual paralegal handle in this situation?
They can handle a lot of the, critical but time-consuming tasks
Mm-hmm.
that are essential for these cases to run smoothly.
Okay.
Think about things like making sure all the filings are accurate and submitted on time,
Okay.
managing deadlines,
Mhm.
and even handling routine communication with clients.
That sounds like it would be a huge help, not just for the attorney, but for the client as well.
Absolutely. It creates a sense of support and reliability,
Hmm.
knowing that even though the attorney is focused on the complex legal strategy,
Yeah.
there's someone else there, making
Yeah.
sure all the essential tasks are being taken care of meticulously.
Right.
The article really emphasizes that client communication is key,
Yeah.
especially in these high-stress cases.
Okay. So we've talked about PRM applications and asylum and deportation cases.
Hmm.
Where else does this article take us?
So the article talks about the process of foreign-trained lawyers trying to gain admission to the New York bar, which can be pretty complicated.
Now, that sounds like it would be incredibly complex, even for someone who already has a law degree.
Oh, it definitely is.
Yeah.
There are all sorts of specific eligibility requirements and a multi-step process that can be really daunting,
Right.
both for the attorney guiding the foreign lawyer through it and for the foreign lawyer themselves.
So I'm guessing the article suggests outsourcing parts of that process as well?
Exactly.
Hmm.
It emphasizes that a lot of the work involved is administrative in nature.
Mm-hmm.
Things like document review, credential evaluation, application submission.
Okay.
These are all critical tasks, but don't necessarily require the deep legal expertise of the attorney overseeing the case.
I see. So instead of the attorney getting bogged down in all those details, they could bring in someone who specializes in those specific tasks.
Exactly. And what's interesting is that in this case, the outsourcing isn't just about saving time for the attorney.
Mm-hmm.
It's also about bringing in a particular type of expertise that might not be within the attorney's wheelhouse.
Right.
It's about finding the right person for the right job.
That's a really good point. It's about recognizing your own limitations and seeking out support where you need it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've talked about PRM applications,
Mhm.
asylum and deportation cases,
Mhm.
and foreign lawyers seeking admission to the bar.
Yeah.
Any other standout examples from the article?
There's one more I think is worth mentioning.
Okay.
The article talks about the importance of what it calls immigration documentation experts.
Okay, I'm intrigued. What makes these experts so special?
Well, they're basically the masters of all things immigration paperwork.
Okay.
The article even refers to them as form ninjas,
Form ninjas.
which I think is a pretty accurate description.
Yeah, I like that.
Think about all those complex forms associated with immigration cases.
Oh, yeah.
I-140 petitions, labor certifications, I-485 applications.
Right.
These are all incredibly detailed and require absolute precision.
I can see how that would be crucial. Even a small error on one of those forms could cause significant delays or even jeopardize the whole case.
Absolutely. And that's where these documentation experts come in.
Okay.
They're meticulous, they know the forms inside and out, and they can help ensure that everything is submitted correctly the first time around.
That's great.
This not only minimizes the risk of errors, but also takes a lot of pressure off the attorney.
So it's about peace of mind for both the attorney and the client,
Yeah.
knowing that those critical documents are in expert hands.
Precisely. And this brings us back to that broader theme of strategic outsourcing.
Yeah.
It's about recognizing that you don't have to do everything yourself,
Right.
and that bringing in specialized support can make your life easier, reduce stress, and ultimately allow you to serve your clients better.
I love that it's not just about efficiency, it's about providing the best possible representation for your clients. So thinking beyond immigration law for a moment, I'm curious, have you ever outsourced any part of your own work?
Oh, absolutely.
Really?
I find that outsourcing certain tasks, particularly those that are repetitive or require a very specific skill set that I don't have,
Yeah.
has been a real game changer for me.
So what kinds of tasks are we talking about?
Things like transcription editing, even some of the more technical aspects of research.
Interesting.
Delegating these tasks frees up my mental energy to focus on the things I'm truly passionate about and the areas where I can make the biggest impact.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Like clearing out the mental clutter so you can focus on the big picture.
Exactly.
Mhm.
And it also allows me to dedicate more time to things like analysis, connecting the dots, and coming up with those aha moments that we all crave.
So it's about playing to your strengths, recognizing what you do best, and finding support for the things that might not be your forte. I think that's such a valuable lesson for anyone, no matter what field they're in.
I completely agree. It's about empowering yourself to work smarter, not harder.
I love that. Okay, so our listener might be hearing all of this and thinking, this sounds great in theory, but where do I even start? It can feel overwhelming to even know where to begin.
Yeah, that's a valid concern. And I think the key is to start small.
Okay.
Don't try to overhaul your entire workflow overnight. Instead, try identifying one or two areas where you feel the most bogged down. Those tasks that drain your energy and take you away from the core of your work.
Okay, so pinpoint those pain points first, then what?
Then brainstorm.
Okay.
Think about who might be able to help you with those specific tasks.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's a virtual assistant, a specialized consultant, or even a colleague who has complementary skills.
That's a great point. It's not just about offloading work. It's about finding the right people to collaborate with people who have expertise in those areas where you might be struggling.
Absolutely, collaboration is key. And don't be afraid to ask for referrals from people you trust.
Oh, yeah.
Your network could be an invaluable resource when it comes to finding reliable and competent partners.
Such a good reminder. Tap into that network. I'm feeling more and more convinced that this strategic outsourcing approach is something everyone should be considering, not just lawyers or big corporations.
Right.
It's for anyone who wants to work smarter, reduce stress, and ultimately achieve more.
I couldn't agree more. It's about empowering yourself to focus on what truly matters and to build a support system that helps you thrive.
And in the case of immigration law, it's about serving those clients with the best possible representation.
Exactly. By streamlining your workflow and reducing that feeling of overwhelm, you're creating the space to be a more effective and compassionate advocate.
Yeah,
Mm.
that's a really powerful way to put it. So as we wrap up this deep dive into immigration law and outsourcing, I want to leave our listener with one final thought.
Okay.
We've talked a lot about how attorneys can benefit from this approach,
Right.
but I think the underlying principles apply to almost any profession.
Mm-hmm.
What area of your work could benefit from a little strategic outsourcing?
Yeah.
Think about those tasks that just drain your energy
Right.
or require a specific skill set you might not have.
Yeah.
Could you bring in some support to help you focus on your strengths
Absolutely.
and ultimately achieve more?
Yeah, that's a great question for everyone listening to consider. And remember, as we discussed earlier, finding those trusted partners is crucial.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Don't just jump into any outsourcing arrangement without doing your research.
Right.
Ask for referrals from your network.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure you feel comfortable with the people or companies you're working with.
Yeah.
And ensure their values align with yours.
Such good advice. It's about building a collaborative relationship, not just offloading tasks onto someone else.
Exactly. It's about finding those people who can truly help you elevate your work and achieve your goals.
I love that. All right, folks, that wraps up our deep dive for today.
Great.
We've covered a lot of ground exploring the challenges faced by immigration attorneys and the potential of strategic outsourcing, not only to transform their workflows,
Right.
but also their ability to serve their clients effectively.
Yeah,
Hopefully you've walked away with some valuable insights
definitely.
and a fresh perspective on how to approach your own work no matter what field you're in.
Remember, knowledge is power, but it's only truly valuable when we put it into practice.
Mm-hmm.
So take these ideas, explore the possibilities, and see how strategic outsourcing could empower you to work smarter, achieve more, and ultimately live a more fulfilling life.
Beautifully said. Until next time, happy delegating.